Back here on the Bobcast, presented by the Bobcat Sports Network. We are talking men's basketball. My name is Fielder Dennis, joined by Coach Sean Brown. Coach 0-2 this week against Charleston and West Virginia State. What were your thoughts on the team's performance this past week?
Well, I didn't think that we stepped up and met the challenge against Charleston. Um, you know, t- we we let them get too comfortable too early,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just not going to work. Our margin of error is too thin, is too slight to kind of just let guys sit back and wait for us to make mistakes and then capitalize off of them. So we went into the West Virginia State game. We were a lot more focused. We played. We were a little more physical. Still made a ton of mental errors in that game. Um, but we fought and scrapped to the end, and something to build on going into this homestand.
Looking at the UC game, first half, like you said, started out slow. How do you avoid these slow starts in conference play?
There's a lot of things, a lot of theories. We've got to be more mentally focused and
Mm-hmm.
you know be more focused on the game plan, the plan that the coaching staff put in place, and we work, you know, really hard on the game plan, and myself sticking to the game plan because there's a lot of times where I'll veer off because of things not being, me feeling uncomfortable with certain things, and with the way the game's flowing, the way the game's going at certain points, and but it's not just the players. It's start from up top. I gotta trust the game plan and trust the program, and um, trust in what we put in also. So it's it starts with trust. We gotta trust each other. We gotta plan our work and work our plan.
Coach Alexander fouled out in the game against Charleston about halfway through the second half, and then that forced everyone else to kind of step up the scoring. Who did you feel did well in this role? As Adedeo, he finished with 11 points. Not a big scoring night for the Bobcats, but it kind of gave you a glimpse into next year potentially without Alexander out there as an option.
Well, Daniel did foul out in that game, and he got quite a few fouls that was maybe touch we thought was touch fouls
Mm-hmm.
or
50-50.
50-50 or
Mm-hmm.
not even fouls, but we that kind of that happens, and the scoring got spread around. Kind of came in and gave us some good minutes, although he didn't shoot it well. He had a lot of energy off the bench, and he was close to double figures. Steven Torn was close to double figures with 9 points. So and Adedayo had 11. So the scoring was scattered, but obviously 55 in this conference is way too low. We need some folks to step up and hit some shots and be creative within our offense. Um, thus far there's been only one guy that's been really stepping up in that aspect. But it's a team game, and we like when the scoring gets spread around. But when things get tough, we need someone who could make tough shots and who's willing to make a play, who's looking to make a play. And we're actively recruiting in that area.
Playmakers. That's
Absolutely,
that's what we've been seeing on the conference. On those other teams, they've got guys who can make plays when stuff breaks down.
absolutely.
Looking at the West Virginia State game, the start was quality, and it seemed that you established a low post presence with Maurice Carroll Jr. Was that the game plan? Because right out the gate, you went right down to the post, and he scored a couple of baskets.
We did, and that was a part of the game plan to get the ball inside and try to score it in the paint. We've kind of gotten away from that inside out play. We shoot way too many threes, and we're not a good outside shooting team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we need to get things closer to the basket. We need to get to the free throw line, and establishing Maurice inside was a big part of our plan. He still didn't get enough touches. I don't think. Uh, Patterson needs to be more aggressive. We were missing Perry this game, who's turned up the aggression a little bit as of late. Um, but as always, Torrin was really active. He had close to a double double
Hmm.
this game. He led the comeback. I feel like he led the comeback in that game. But I mean, we think we think we're headed in the right direction. Um, one game at a time.
Creating an offensive identity is so crucial for team success. And like we mentioned, the low post presence, it seemed like the team had that identity early in the game against West Virginia State. 24-23, early in the score, the Bobcats had to leave. Do you feel the team did that Saturday, establish an identity on the offensive end early?
We'll see. Again, it was
Hmm.
trust. Let's see. Let's see. We'll probably play the same guys about the same amount of minutes this game. Not sure who'll start and who will finish, but we'll probably play the same guys the same amount of minutes, and we'll see. If that ball goes inside, and we'll preach it, continue to preach it all week. We have an extended week instead of Wednesday. We play on Thursday, so that's what we'll continue to coach them to do at practice, and let's see if that identity holds up in the game. Because I think if it does, we can have success on Thursday in front of our home crowd.
You mentioned you challenged the team to compete in the post game interview after the West Virginia State game. Do you feel like they did that?
I think they did.
Hmm.
And it's weird. My assistants told me as soon as I came in the locker room after the interview, I told these guys, I said, "You all competed for 16 minutes in this game. You played D2 basketball for 16 minutes in this ball game. You know." And I told them what 16 minutes I thought, and it's really funny. It's weird because they told the guys the same thing before I even came in there,
Hmm.
and it's not like right after the game, I didn't even have a talk with my assistants. I came straight up to you all and had the
Hmm.
interview. So and I'd say that to say it's funny how we all see the game. Myself and my assistants see this game the same, but yeah, man, that's what we told them. We want you to compete. We don't feel like we competed for 40 minutes. Um, you know, all teams don't compete for 40 minutes. That West Liberty team definitely competes for 40 minutes, win
Right.
or lose. So we went out and we played our style of basketball for 16 minutes, and there was a lot of mistakes within that 16 minutes, but we competed. We made mistakes at 100%. We didn't have a whole lot of mental mistakes, and when we did, we didn't fall apart. We came together and we got it right back. There was some missed free throws, there was some missed layups, but we played extremely hard within those 16 minutes that we were talking about. And if we can get that number up to 30, 35, that we could be a really scary team headed into the playoffs.
This week you play Concord and Glenville State. You looking to get the season sweep against Concord, then even the season series against Glenville. What are you looking forward to in these matchups the second time around in your gym?
Man, we're looking for energy, and our energy it wanes, it comes and goes, but you know I think being in our gym, I think it's going to bring a totally different energy. I think it's going to bring a totally different passion that none of these teams have seen um, this year. Um, they haven't seen a Bobcat crowd live. They hadn't seen how much noise or heard how much noise that our crowd can make, our fans can make, and that when that momentum start to shift, our energy is just incredible. So I think, I'm expecting a lot of energy from our guys, and a lot of focus. We want this when this is the biggest game in our schedule as of right now because this is really for playoff positioning.
Hmm.
And this head-to-head matchup can decide who goes and who doesn't go to the tournament. And our guys are fully aware of it. And we don't hide that from our guys. And the pressure is something that's to be expected at the scholarship level. And we don't take our foot off the gas. We let these guys know what it's about. They know what these games mean, and we don't hide it from them, and we expect them to step up and meet the expectations.
Pressure creates diamonds, and looking forward to the Bobcats this Thursday and Saturday. Coach Sean Brown, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
Back here on the Bobcast, presented by the Bobcat Sports Network. My name is Fielder Dennis. We are talking women's basketball with Coach CARRIE Saunders. Coach, will jump right into it. 0-2 this past week against Charleston and West Virginia State. What were your thoughts on your team's performance this past week?
On Wednesday against Charleston, I thought we played extremely well. We were in that game, I would consider almost pretty much the entire game until the end. And we played well, especially in the first half. We stuck true to our scouting report, and the second half when we came out and we went away from what was working in the first half. And we talked about going back to it, but by the time we went back to it, it was a little too late.
Right.
And on Saturday, West Virginia State's a team that likes to get up and down, and their pace is like nobody else, besides Glenville in the conference. And that's just tough for us to keep up with. That's a true speed of the game type of game. And their transition game where they shoot kids to the corners is tough to defend. So, but, I'm always proud of just our effort. We go out and fight every night, and that's what we need to continue to do.
You played one of the top teams in the Mountain East Conference for the second time in Charleston in the middle of the week. What did you see from the team the second time around? The first time it went on the road, it was a tough game, and then you get them back here. Did you see some improvements that were good to see?
Yeah, we seem to be a little bit more comfortable the second time around. We've played 3 teams now for the second time, and with the exception, I think, of State, we've played better than the time before. So that's definitely a positive thing to see as a coach, is for us to be able to be more comfortable the second time around. So yeah, it's definitely, we're progressing in the right direction. I think, the first time through the conference is just, it's brand new every single night. Whereas now it's like, okay, we can reflect back what worked last time, what didn't work, and progress. And so, yeah, the girls are doing a good job taking old scouts from the previous time we matched up against them, and we've made some adjustments that have worked well. So happy to see that progression.
Victoria Diggs poured in 17 points against Charleston, and this is kind of an overarching question. We'll talk about her at the end of the season as well. How has her consistency been a pillar for the offense? So this season specifically?
Yeah, it's huge. If I feel like if her and Amanda aren't really scoring, we're struggling. So yeah, her consistency is what keeps us competitive every single night. And there's so much on her plate. And I can't tell her enough how much she means to the program this year. Just everything that she has to do of running the floor and being a point guard, but also scoring. Also, 80% of the time she's matched up on their best ball handler. So, yeah, and she plays almost 40 minutes a game. So just an incredible player. She's got an incredible knack for the game, high intelligence. But, yeah, her scoring every single night is what we need in order to be competitive in games.
Morgan Dombrowski has flourished in her 6-man role. Coming off the bench here late in the season, does her bench production provide assurance to the rotation?
It does. Since we've moved her off the starting lineup, it gives us some sort of scoring off the bench and a little bit of spark from that way. Like, we have people coming off the bench doing other roles, but we never really had a scorer coming off the bench. Our top scorers are in our lineup every single night. So, yeah, her being able to come off the bench and having a sub that comes in the game and be like, okay, she can get a bucket, but she can also do other things. Has been huge. So yeah, her coming in and she's, ever since she came out of the starting lineup, nothing's changed with her. And I think that that's also a huge thing to point out is, she's out of the starting lineup, but nothing about her game, nothing about her attitude, nothing about her demeanor. She sits on the bench and she's positive, so that's also huge. Is that her leaving the starting lineup didn't deter her. I think she's almost played better in the last few games coming off the bench than she was the last few games that she had started for us. So, yeah, her points and her coming off the bench has been good for us.
Definitely seems more comfortable out on the floor. You struggle from the three-point line against the Lady Jackets on Saturday, juxtaposed from shooting well beyond the arc. 11 three-pointers made against Charleston. How does the long ball open up the offense?
Yeah, with a pace like that against State on Saturday, it is hard to get threes up because it's just such a quick pace, and you're attacking the rim a lot. I think we could have done a better job of attacking the rim and then kicking to open shooters. But yeah, us being able to shoot gives us confidence. We're not the greatest three-point shooting team. If you take Diggs out of that equation, we're relatively inconsistent. So yeah, when we're hitting threes and when the whole team is checked in and shooting the ball well, it brings energy to the team. So yeah, that was something that we just couldn't get accomplished on Saturday that we did on Wednesday.
Sierra Thomas scored 16 points and has a knack for getting the line she scored 16 against West Virginia State. How has her game evolved out of necessity as the year goes on?
Yeah, she's such a crafty kid that can get to the rim. And when she's making good decisions and scoring, and she's producing points for us. She's extremely young in the fact of she can get a little overwhelmed and she needs to know when to kick and when to shoot.
Yeah.
And because I think when, in high school, she could get to the rim with ease, and now we're, trying to teach her in college, you've got 6-footers standing in there waiting for you. You're not going to get to the free throw every single time. You're going to get blocked some of those times. But when she does get to the free throw line, it helps us tremendously because we're a team, we've been working on our physicality in practice, but we're a team that struggles to draw fouls because of our size difference. So, it's a give and take because we want kids to attack and try and get to the free throw line, but it's also understanding what you're driving into, and if you pull a bunch of people, we need to kick. But she's developed. She's continuing to learn. She's a true freshman who has a lot on her plate. So you've also got to take that with a grain of salt. And she continues to want to work. And, I like the fact that she wants to drive in there. It's hard to tell a kid that has that, like, I'm going to go get a bucket or I'm going to go get to the free throw line. And I like that about her. So she's progressing, everything about her. She's going to become a really great player for us.
Two of the top teams in the Mountain East this week with Concord on Thursday and Glenville on Saturday. And you played, like you said, a carbon copy team of Glenville. And we'll look at the Glenville game on Saturday first. How does the West Virginia State offense kind of prepare you going into Saturday?
It does. It 100% prepares you. But I think, Glenville's a bigger team as far as their length and their athleticism, and they're a little bit deeper. But they press the same exact way as State as far as they want to turn you over and get quick buckets, which is what they did the first time around. So, we're going to try and, obviously break their press and then slow the game down a little bit, maybe not take as many quick shots and try and work the ball for a better shot and just try and change the pace so it's not so up and down, which we got into the pace of State's pace. And we talk about, we're a better half-court team than we are a full-court team. But, Glenville's an unbelievable team. They've been pressing like this forever, and they're veteran, and that one's going to be a tough one for sure.
And Concord's got some serious size on Thursday with Fitzwater. How do you look to combat that?
Yeah, the first time around, I think we defended Fitzwater really well. We're going to continue to defend her that same way. And, they've got another kid in Madison May as well that we've got to shut down. But I think our girls are going to be ready for that one. We played a really competitive game down there. It was really chippy. I think our girls felt like there were things that happened in that game that shouldn't have. So I think that we're going to be ready for this one coming up. And I'm hoping that the team feels the same way that I think that they feel.
Coach Carrie Saunders, thanks for talking with us. Looking forward to Thursday.
Thanks.
Back here in the Bobcast, presented by the Bobcat Sports Network. My name is Fielder Dennis here with Coach Shane Brookshire. Coach, the men's and women's track and field teams put on some dominating performances on Saturday as the Bobcat teams competed at the Susquehanna University Challenge. What were your overall thoughts on the team at that meet?
Oh, once again, we had some outstanding performances across the field. It was amazing how well these athletes have adapted to the training and how well they're setting themselves up for the conference championships in a couple weeks. So overall, another great meet. So like outstanding performances in both the running events and the field events, numerous PRs once again, and I mean these athletes keep getting better every time they go out to these meets. Like I said, they keep working hard in practices, and it's definitely showing like that we will be one of the top teams at the indoor conference meet.
The FSU men collected 6 wins, 16 top 5 finishes, and 21 top 10 efforts, while the women earned 1 win, 4 top 5 efforts, and 8 top 10 finishes. You mentioned these. Every time we talk, it's personal best. They're improving. They're going through this program. How proud are you? And we'll get more into this in the off season. But just the improvements and the growth of these athletes. They're really taking to your system and your productivity.
Oh, I'm very proud of these athletes. So they're the ones that put in the work, and like as long as they buy into the training, like buy into the process, like we tell them trust the process, that they're going to succeed. And I mean, you don't expect to go out and PR every single time you compete. And however, like several of these athletes have done that, and or they've come close to hitting their PRs. Like I said, there's it's been across the whole spectrum of the team. Like athletes just improving each and every week, and so it's something that's unexpected. It's extremely hard to do. So I know I wasn't able to PR every time out when I ran, but I mean these guys and gals are showing that it's possible, and that and it's just good reinforcement of the training that it really builds up their confidence as we approach the indoor conference championships, and as we go into our next meet with VMI, another big meet that we have on the schedule. So the higher their confidence, the more the better they're going to do at these higher level competition meets.
Junior Clayton Washington won the 60-meter dash in a personal best 7:10 after lowering his time from 7:16 in the prelims, while senior Jacob Rickards posted a win in the 800-meter run with an indoor career best at 2 minutes and 1 second and .69. What can you say about their performances on Saturday that was so impressive?
Well, for Clay, I mean, we've been training him more so as a long sprinter, so focusing on that 2 and the 4. And he went in there we were looking for just to work on some acceleration, work on some speed, and we haven't done a 60 all year with him. I've had this meet circled on my calendar for this to be his 60 and 200 meet, which we had him in the 4x2, and he got out of the blocks. He stumbled a little bit on his 4th or 5th step and recovered nicely and posted at 7:16, which was at the time our number 2 time this season. And then I talked to him a little bit after the race. Gave him a few tips. Coach Kemp gave him a few tips, and I told him that I believe that he could go 7:11, and he got right there against the number 1 seeded guy and popped off a 7:10, and big PR for him by 0.03 of a second. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like a lot to people, but in the track and field world, especially in the sprinting world, I mean, that's a pretty big distance to cover. And so Clay's really bought in, and it's shown in his training with how much he's improved. And with Jake Rickards, I mean, another guy coming out of cross country that has put in the work and put in the mileage. Every single day he's doing what's expected of him, and that 800 meter that he had this past weekend was actually his first time winning a race at the college level. And so he mentioned that to me later on, and so not just winning a heat, but winning the overall race. And so that definitely pumped him up for the conference meet. He's ranked as one of the top 6 guys in the conference right now for the 800 meter. And we're expecting big things when we get to race everybody else.
We mentioned John Kearns every Bobcast. He posted his 3rd win in the weight throw this season, tossing it at 17.9 to get first place. How are you seeing his improvements? I mean, we've talked about that, but more importantly, I think, what is it like to see him go up against in big meets like VMI this weekend and last weekend at Liberty to compete against some of the best athletes in his field?
John's a gamer. He shows up, he wants to compete, and he wants to compete against the absolute best, because he wants to push himself every single day. And so he goes to these big meets, and he's confident, and he's like he's extremely excited to go to VMI, like to throw against top-notch competition. Like he knows that that's going to prepare him for a bigger stage. But what's also great about John is that he helps prepare those younger athletes, like our younger throwers, for these bigger stages as well, as he coaches them throughout and like helps them with their technique, like at the meet. And so, I mean, he's like, we're definitely going to miss having him on the team, like after he graduates and stuff. So, but it's been a pleasure working with him like all year long and seeing how much like he has improved, because when you get to your senior year, like usually the improvements are very minimum, and he is in both the shot put and the weight, he has improved by almost a full meter off of his PRs.
On the women's side, they are proud of victory by the 4x400 meter relay by the foursome Kayleen Estrada, first year Morgan Matthews, junior Madison Watson, and sophomore Brianna Gibson with a 4.2113. What did you see from those individuals in terms of their ability to be a unit on the 4x400?
We wanted to see some fight. Like we wanted to see some competitiveness. Like we haven't ran our 4x4s since the West Virginia meet back in December. So we were missing one of our A squad members, Shania Booker, but Morgan Matthews stepped in and became she showed a lot of fight in that anchor leg of the 4x4. She was down about roughly 6 or 7 meters going into it, maybe more. It was a good distance, and she ran that girl down and caught her and passed her with about 100 meters to go or so, and made a big move. And so it was our 4x4 ran well. Like I said, we haven't worked on it too much as of late, as we just trying to work on speed. But I said they did show that they want to be competitive and that they can rise to the occasion when need be.
First year Chloe Park was 8th in the long jump at 4.37 meters, and first year Alexa Bradburn was 8th in the weight throw with a PR of 11.51. What did you see from these pair of first year athletes that was encouraging going forward?
Well, so Chloe is trying out the long jump, I believe, for the first time this year, and so she was a late addition to our team back in October. So she walks on, and we're just trying to find events that work for her, and it looks like the jumps area is what she's taken a liking to the most, and so she's improving every time she goes out there, which is great. Really that's all we want to see as coaches, is athletes go out and try to perform at their best every single time, regardless of how they finish in a competition. As long as they keep improving, that's our goal. And she's been doing just that. And then Alexa Bradburn, same thing. They don't have weight throw in high school, and so this is her first year of actually doing the weight throw. And every single time she goes out, she's getting a little bit better, and just getting a little bit better. So she's got just a couple things that she needs to work on with it, but she's very close to hitting it, and as soon as she can hit it, she will be throwing near the top of the conference. And so we're excited to see what she can do over these next couple weeks.
FSU returns to action next Friday and Saturday, this Friday and Saturday, at the Winter Relays at VMI. That's the VMI Keydets. That's a pretty large school, Division I. Like you said, it's going to be a big meet. What are you looking forward to in that?
Well, we're going to see about putting together our first distance medley relay on the men's side, and so that's one of the conference championship events. We haven't ran it all season, and my goal is to try to break the school record this year. However, we're still focused on our open events, and I think Jaden Morley, who had an outstanding weekend at Susquehanna, we dropped him down to the 400 and the 200 to work on speed. I think he's going to have one of his best races this weekend at VMI, in the 800. And we might be putting together our A-team 4x4 for the first time this year, and on the men's side to try and see where we can rank in the conference. So this is our best chance to get the fastest competition and really improve on our rankings of like trying to get more athletes into the top 16, which is what we need to qualify for the conference meet. So VMI will be a great opportunity on the men's side and a great opportunity on the women's side, where athletes that are used to like running without much competition, like Alyssa Mullery in the 60 hurdles, like the smaller meets, there's only like 1 or 2 women that will be with her. Like now she'll have a whole field of athletes that can push her to an even faster time, and like so I'm excited to see what she can do. And then we have like our throwers like Michaela Westry, who will be back in the weight throw at VMI, and Alexa Bradburn. Like once again, like seeing how they can handle the level of competition and keep improving upon their marks. And I think overall, I think VMI will be exactly what we're looking for, with potential to hit more personal bests, like hit conference qualifying marks, and then just set us up for the conference championships 2 weeks after it.
Coach, sounds like a measuring stick against VMI. I'm looking forward to seeing the result.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much. Back here on the Bobcast, presented by the Bobcat Sports Network. My name is Fielder Dennis. I am joined by Coach Jeff Splinter. We're talking tennis here. The spring season is upon us, Coach. Expectations for your spring season is my first question to you.
Oh, we're expecting to get outside here today. That's exciting.
Very nice,
so,
50 degrees.
Yeah, can't complain with this weather, and we're super excited to be practicing outside in February. We even got outside last week in January, so we're just excited to get some meaningful reps outside in practice. And yeah, we're expecting to come in to the Mountain East Conference play this semester, and really our team goal is to bring the noise in the conference. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that. So we have a really competitive team. They love to fight. They love to bring the energy and bring a lot of enthusiasm. So we'll be looking forward to seeing how each of them can pull each other through these matches and compete at our highest level.
What did the time off, I guess, provide to you?
Yeah, so we were able to before we started this past week, a lot of them were in the gym over the break, and a lot of them went home and hit at their home gyms, and it kind of gave them a sense of kind of getting back to their roots. I know a few of them hit with their college, their high school coaches or different things like that. So it was great, for them to get a sense of going home, coming back, and feeling more comfortable again. But as soon as we started last Monday, they came in. We had 2-hour-long practices, and we were running, we were conditioning, we were hitting a lot of tennis balls, and providing a lot of conditioning to make sure that we're ready for these long matches in the Mountain East.
Who are you looking towards to lead both teams this season? I think I asked you that in the fall. Is there some consistency going in the leadership department?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our team is well-rounded, where our men's team is led by our captain, Tim Goldring, but it doesn't stop everyone else from pitching in and doing their part. Jeff Goldring is a great example for the younger players on the team. You have Mason, Ben, and Ryan, who've all come in their first year and done well. So they listen, they push everyone else, and it's a really exciting time. Christian Danes, one of the older guys on the team, is looking to do some good things this semester. And we're just kind of looking forward to that on the men's side. And the women's side, we're looking at Allison Paul, who's our team captain. She's a senior now, and she's provided that example for 3 years, and we're grateful for that. And we have a lot of first-year players in the starting lineup that have been pushing everyone else, and it's been great. We have a highly competitive team that's wants to win, wants to succeed, and wants to play their best. And we'll see where that takes us this semester.
Coach, are the top 6 on either team, both teams I should say, is that set in stone? Do you have an idea of who's going to be in those rankings?
I think it'll fluctuate as the season goes on. I would love to say we have a certain top 6, but I think our strength right now is our depth, and our women's team goes 1 through 10, and any one of them can start at any day, and we'll have a lot of back-to-back-to-back matches this week or this this semester with Friday, Saturday, Sunday matches. So that will come into play a lot. I think, we'll see a lot of starters. We'll see a lot of people going in and out of the lineup. If someone gets injured, we'll have women that are ready to step in and play. And same thing on the men's side. We have 8 guys that can really come in and do well. So we're looking forward to that and seeing, if someone's not bringing it one day, we'll give someone else a shot the next one, make sure that everyone kind of sees the lineup and we can see their highest potential.
Last week, preseason polls came out in the MEC. Men were picked 6th, women 8th. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, super excited to just, be considered. Our men's team, they come in, they work hard. 6th, I think, is a good spot for them. We're going to have to go out there and prove the rankings right and wrong. We definitely, see ourselves anywhere in the mix, and, we want to compete against those top teams, and we want to go out there and make sure that they know why, our men know why, we can't take any of these teams lightly, whether they're ranked below us or ahead of us. So, it's the same concept, and, with the men having their tournament this weekend, we'll get a good sense of Mountain East play where we'll see some different schools from the conference. And, the women picked 8th. We're definitely hoping to show them wrong for sure. I think our women are super talented this semester. We did get another transfer in from a Division II school, so we're looking forward to adding another piece to that lineup. So, we're just going to go out there. We're going to play our hardest. Not worry about who's ranked where. Or, we're not quite in that thought process yet where, our thought process is, we would love to be regionally ranked. We'd love to be, thought of as a powerhouse going forward. Where we're ranked in the conference is just a piece of that.
What about the MEC intrigues you the most?
Yeah, I think we're just looking forward to playing highly consistent players that push us on a daily basis. We played West Virginia Wesleyan last year and got a sense of what the difference is, and now I feel like we're more prepared, we're more ready to play a school like West Virginia Wesleyan and a lot of the other schools in the conference, and we'll see how much we've grown from then to now. So we're looking forward to that.
UC this weekend, the men at the UC Invitational, the UC Invite rather. What are you hoping to see from the guys?
Yeah, I want to see. It's a good chance to get some indoor court time, some meaningful practice. So we're going to use it as such. I haven't quite figured out the lineup on the men's side yet, so putting some players with some other people in doubles, seeing how they kind of interact with each other. I want to see a good team camaraderie aspect of it, and coming out stronger together as a team than we did moving into that tournament. So give us a chance to play some great indoor tennis for two full days. We'll have all day Friday and all day Saturday, so they'll get a good 4 to 6 hours on the court, which we're excited about.
Coach Jeff Splinter, ladies and gentlemen, he's back here on the Bobcast. Thanks for joining us. Good talking tennis with you.
Great. Go Bobcats.
Back here on the Bobcast, presented by the Bobcat Sports Network, I have the pleasure of talking swimming right now with head coach Bryan Christiansen. Coach, thanks for joining us first off, and we're going to talk more about Notre Dame, this meet this past weekend, but I know you liked to do your introductions.
Oh, that's right. Well, first, thanks for having me here, Fielder. As I woke up this morning, my thoughts turned to yesterday and a certain groundhog up in Pennsylvania
Puxatawny Phil,
I think, made an accurate prediction. I think he saw no shadow, and it's like 50 degrees and sunny here in Frostburg, which it's hard to remember what the sun looks like some of those winter months, and just you feel energized. Spring is here. We have I think an equivalent, the Western Maryland Murray I heard about.
Yes, in Cumberland. Yeah.
I don't know what Murray did, but
he's on Phil's corner.
Yeah, that's right. And then obviously, we got to talk about swimming. They had a pretty big meet this weekend. But, there was a big game yesterday, too.
There was.
For you radio people out there, we're recording this the day after the Super Bowl. Which I do have a point to this, but, I was just kind of thinking my immediate thoughts. I thought the Chiefs looked terrible for the majority of that game, especially Patrick Mahomes, who was just kind of off all day. Definitely not completing passes, underthrowing people.
Yeah.
He looked really scared. A lot of quick
That's
slides,
a
a
hot
lot
take.
of yeah. But my point is, deep in the fourth quarter, he didn't let that get to him, and he ended up putting together a pretty sweet run.
Mm-hmm.
Putting up 21 points in the last
Fourth
7
quarter,
minutes.
unanswered.
And all I just kept thinking was, how many times our kids have been down in a meet, down and out. And I think it'd be so easy for Mahomes to just give up and just be like, well, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why I think he was named the eventual Super Bowl MVP.
He was.
Which is amazing because he played
Did not have a great statistical game. But
no, terrible. I think Garoppolo really did pretty awesome.
had his moments.
But just that short memory is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to our own meet where we didn't end up losing. But I think we won 4 out of the last 5 events.
That's right.
Which I may be co-opting a question that you already had.
You did?
We can talk about more of it later.
We will.
Because I'm still excited about that. But just really knowing that it's never over.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're never out of it. I think that's incredibly hard to actually understand when you're an athlete. Because it's so easy to give up and just be like, oh, when is this game going to be over? When can I get to the locker room?
Yeah.
But just it's not. Keep fighting, and keep realizing the person you are, and
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes did it, and I was really impressed with that.
You build habits that way.
It's exactly right. So,
what event would Mahomes swim in your estimation?
let's see. Well, he's got the good shoulder strength.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that forward pass probably is most equivalent to a freestyle. I would consider football to be naturally more anaerobic than aerobic. He'd probably be a sprinter. I actually swam with a few converted football players in college.
Mm-hmm.
They were all sprinters. You get a big football dude. They can doesn't matter how they technique doesn't matter in 50. They just can move their arms and big and strong. I bet he'd be a good 50 freestyler.
Patrick Mahomes, 50 freestyle.
He could probably.
I guarantee no sports shows are talking about what swim event would Pat Mahomes
right.
be in after the
Now let's
Super
see.
Bowl.
If we were analyzed by personality, I don't know. He's kind of a weird dude, right? Probably breaststroke.
Now you're just doing hot takes.
That's right.
That's only hot takes on the Bobcast. Junior Anthony Giuseppetti also had a nice weekend.
Yeah.
He broke a quartet of school records in Frostburg's loss to the Falcons of Notre Dame College. The women were defeated 132 to 102, while the men fell 141 to 115. What were your thoughts on the meet? And we'll get to Anthony a little bit later.
Sure. I thought it was good. Like I said, I mean, I feel weird now comparing us to the Kansas City Chiefs, but we didn't give up in that.
You're Andy Reid.
That's right. I'm Andy Reid.
Even though your assistant coach is named Andrew.
Yeah, and ironically, an Eagles fan. And an Andy Reid fan. My assistant should be Andy Reid. I don't know what that makes me.
Your general manager.
I'm the GM, sure. Yeah, we didn't give up though.
Yeah.
I think we raced hard, had the whole meet. Late in the meet, Haley Benedictus winning the 100 IM.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a pretty quick turnaround after getting second to teammate Megan Culbertson in 200 breaststroke. And then putting up a pretty good fight in the last reel, ultimately getting second. But it was pretty exciting on the women's side. Definitely getting our share of victories. I think Notre Dame College, they swum 8 women.
Okay.
Which in swimming, it's trying to fill spaces, fill points.
Yeah.
It was, and we swam 11 women. We're not necessarily a powerhouse roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird having the depth advantage. We haven't had that much this year. But ultimately, you still got to win some races.
Yeah.
And which we did down the stretch, but it just kind of wasn't enough. And the men were similar, where, again, we won a lot down the stretch. It was really exciting. We had a lot of variety in our wins. It wasn't one person winning everything. We had a lot of this person takes this race, this person takes this race, And that's really cool to see, kind of our depth starting to grow.
Looking at the men's side, the women had were victorious in 4 events, and the men claimed 7 events. They won 4 of the last 5 races. Like you said, they finished strong, much like the Kansas City Chiefs in the fourth quarter. What did you? I mean, you kind of hinted at it, but really, just kind of, I guess, break down your overall thoughts on winning 4 of the last 5. What does that do for confidence going forward?
I mean, I think it's pretty good, and that's the thing with swimming. It's like, even though we lost the meet, we need to be confident because of how we're swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Anthony is gonna get a lot of credit, but Brady Peterson was within a couple tenths of our record in the 100 breaststroke. Conor Giuffreda set an American record in the 100 IM. And then we have people like Jacob Tantala stepping up. I don't know if he has. I'm trying to think now. He won the 200 breaststroke. I mean, that might have been his first win of the year. He's really done some amazing things, kind of coming onto his own, and becoming a pretty good swimmer. Someone who's we're starting to really count on. It's all very exciting, and I think it's tough because you need to understand the win, or understand the loss rather, but understand that our times are pretty good. I think we're racing pretty good.
Going back to the women's side, sophomore Haley Benedictus won a pair of events. You mentioned it. She won the 100-meter breaststroke and 100-meter individual medley. And how was she improved? But also, Megan Culbertson was victorious in the 200-meter breaststroke. And first-year Raina Sisson won the 100-meter breaststroke. Who really made a splash on the women's side this weekend?
It's a nice pun there. Well, obviously, when we dive, we look for no splash, but
right.
but those 3 were all pretty excellent. Haley coming back from an injury, hasn't swum a ton of meets this year, but I think is going to finish the year strong.
Is Haley the one who won at Georgia Southern?
Yeah.
That's okay. So
and by one, I mean she beat one person.
Yeah, she was victorious, correct, yeah.
She was, and I think I think that time off because of a little injury has really, to her, shown how precious swimming is and how rare it is to actually be able to race. Some perspective. Absolutely, and I think she has taken the reins pretty well with that. It was fun for Culbertson. It was her senior day.
Right.
She's a captain. Getting a pair of wins, and that breaststroke was really come from behind. She was probably in 3rd place until maybe the 100 mark, and she her stroke just stayed together, and she said she felt good, and she just kind of kept going, and that was pretty awesome. Raina's been exciting. Raina Sisson, she is. I call her Sisson for the first 3 months of the year. She corrected me.
That's in the vault now.
It's mine too. But she has done very well. Definitely leaning her on the backstroke a lot after graduating like Emily Turner last year, who I think had been our backstroker for probably 4 years.
Yeah.
It's hard losing her, and then getting Raina back in is a really good thing, and Raina's really accepted that role, which is good. If she had come in and said, I like backstroke, but not really, I don't want to do it every meet, we'd be like, all right. But it's been a very good person to have.
My apologies to Raina Sisson. I will get that squared away for the rest of the podcast. Right. Moving to the men's side, the men's stand-up performance was Giuseppe, the Frederick, Maryland native, took his first 4 events, including 2 relays and 2 individual races. What was impressive about his day? I mean, only a junior. He was here on senior day. We'll get into that more. But Giuseppe was just on fire.
Yeah, something got into him, I'll tell you that. He was asking if they could throw on some tech suits, which there's actually kind of a debate in the swimming world is, do we do tech suits for just champs or just dual meets? I'm a guy who usually likes just putting it on for championships. I want it to be special. I want it to be kind of an extra edge. To me, the one meet of the year that matters the most. But more and more coaches are saying, let's suit up for every meet. Let's go fast all the time. I just kind of had a conversation with some coaches the other day about that. And Anthony asked, hey, can I suit up this meet? And I was kind of like, well, all right, that's get some confidence and try to go fast and grab some records for our last home meet. Maybe we'll kind of see what happens. And no, he got really fired up for sure. The backstroke kind of. I mean, I really wanted to go after the that 800 free relay and the 200 freestyle, which he was a couple tenths off last week.
Yeah, he got second a couple of times against Fairmont.
Yeah.
He came right behind, and he was close. He was very close.
Yeah, and stuff getting second and being within the team record. It's like, okay, you're like almost fastest we've ever gone. Getting second, it's hard to ask for more.
Yeah.
Now I know to ask for more because he went 4 seconds faster than he did last week.
That's right.
Which is absurd. Going to 157 short course meters converts to about a 146 in season, which is phenomenal. That's really wild to do. But the backstroke was kind of like I just wanted to win it because I know they had a good backstroker. Anthony has been actually kind of moving away from backstroke. More into like the mid distance free has been kind of interesting him this year. But I was just like, hey, they got a good guy in backstroke. You're our best backstroker still. I just wanted to kind of match up with him. Yeah. And he ended up, going a second faster than our meters record. And I was like, hey, we'll take it.
You mentioned the 100-meter backstroke. That was he toppled a record that had treaded water for 20 years by Kelly Ryan. Giuseppe also broke Ryan's opening lap record at a 28.52. He did so well in the breaststroke, and the second record-breaking showcase came in the event's final day of the event. Giuseppe alongside Sawyer Conklin, Jr., Brady Peterson, and Luke Russell teamed to win the 800-meter freestyle relay that you mentioned, 8:33.94. Giuseppe and Conklin were both on the original record-holding team. All these guys kind of contributed to what Anthony did. I mean, it's a team effort to break that record, but it really kind of at the end of the day, everyone was kind of looking at Anthony Giuseppe. What do the other guys do to help him out?
They did everything that they're supposed to do. The people on that relay, the original Christian March, who went to NCAAs for us, and Luke Holloway, who had been the 200 freestyle record holder before Anthony broke it on Saturday. These are some fast guys that we had replaced with Brady Pearson and Luke Russell, who have definitely been in relays, and I think they both have a couple other records. But it's exciting to kind of see them some step up. I was impressed with all of them, especially Luke Russell as the anchor. Definitely more of a sprinter, more of a 50, 100 guy. And we kind of went over the strategy of what to do in that race, and he ended up being perfect. Just what we needed. I think he swum it smart. He swum it in a way that really guaranteed that spot, and that was really impressive to me for sure. And Brady did exactly as he had to. They all kind of knew at times, they had to get. And I think they've all four of them have really improved since they got here, and they were able to do well.
We don't talk about Connor Giuffrida very often, but he's one of the more decorated athletes here at Frostburg State. The junior he also broke the American S6 Paralympic world record in the 100-meter individual medley at 1:30.52. What impresses you most about Connor, his process, his day in, day out work?
Yeah, it was the American record, just to be specific, but I don't want to inflate Connor's ego. Say world record, he does have world records under his belt. But Connor has definitely had a determination that has been growing since he came here. His sights are on Tokyo 2020 for the Paralympics. He's been extremely focused in achieving that, and it was more impressive. He was kind of a little sore that morning, and he kind of got it together and pushed through and was able to do some really great things, which is really exciting.
Oh, yeah.
But no, his attitude and focus have just been dramatically improved. I think it helps to dangle a pretty large carrot at
Yeah.
the end of the summer.
Right.
Some the biggest international competition that is available is pretty exciting, and I think he is stepping up to the challenge. That's another it's easy to give up or to kind of want it but not want to try to get it. But Connor, I think everything is coming together where he is like, I'm gonna make this. I know what it takes to make it, and it takes some significant effort, and he's been working hard.
Be sure to keep an eye on him as the season goes on. Have a week off this week, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the championships coming up in a couple weeks in Canton, Ohio. I'm going to give you a moment here, use the platform to talk about what the senior class this year. You had Senior Day on Saturday. What is the senior class? Your second season here.
Yeah.
How have they impacted the program, and how have they, in your interactions with them, grown?
Well, I said this on the day, and really I realized this. I guess it's always been in the back of my mind. But traditionally I like to take the seniors out during our Florida trip for like a little dinner, and kind of just as a way of thanking them and kind of doing well. And I was kind of sitting there being like, wow, I'm gonna miss this class. It is a cobbled together class. Maria Russo is a graduate student who swam here for 3 years, took a year off, and came back, and her teammates voted her captain. I think they really respect her. She brings a very needed maturity to the team, and it is just kind of just the experience that an 18-year-old kid fresh out of high school is just not going to have. It's just been invaluable. And then we got Elizabeth Myers, who is just so steady and so reliable. She's coming from a study. She actually studied abroad in the fall. But she's just, her attitude is just fantastic, and she just kind of knows what's going on. She knows what's going to come. I think sets that scare some other kids. She's just like, I've been there.
Yeah,
it's not bad. We're gonna get through it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then Becca Marsh, who's also had some injury issues, is just such a fantastic athlete. And when she can't swim, she's just been so dedicated in helping out the team, and just wanting to put so much time and effort when she does not have to into this program. We talked about Culbertson, who is weirdly the maybe you'd say the only traditional senior on the women's side who's swum all 4 years. I mean, they all have in their own way, but there's been breaks and abroads and other things. Is just has such energy and is able to lift up the team, and almost be irreverent sometimes and just loose, but also with that focus when the time comes has been so important for us. And then on the men's side, we are one lone dude, Hunter McFall, so I think, I was gonna say bleeds red and black, but that sounds like a weird way to bleed. It's like orc blood.
Yeah.
But he
call him an orc.
He bleeds Bob and Cat.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever cut someone with more team spirit. Someone who just will dedicate himself to anything the team takes. He's not afraid of being he's a captain as well, but he's not afraid of being yelling at the kids, or I don't mean yelling, but keeping us on task, saying, "Hey, cool down. Hey, do this."
The bad guy.
I think you have to do that as a leader.
Yeah.
You have to be able to push people. He's come onto that role a lot this year. At the same time, he has the balance where he can be the most excited and biggest cheer that we got. And I told the rest of the team that these people are the example. All 5 of them are what it means to be a Bobcat swimmer. And if you're looking for a model of how to both get through 4 years of swimming, which is not easy, how to treat your teammates and how to be successful both in the pool and I think in life, they're all well-balanced, great individuals. These 5 are it. These 5 are the model. To me, I would love to have a team of 25 of these seniors. Their character and integrity and Bobcat pride is unparalleled. I can't talk well enough about this class. They excite me a lot, and we're gonna miss them.
Coach Bryan Christian, thanks for joining us. Thanks for chatting Super Bowl and giving us some takes. And I'm going to leave the floor to you for your shout-outs.
Absolutely. Shout out to my fiance Sarah, her cat Missy. I know they're doing well, and they always like to hear this. And go Bobcats.